Hey guys, it's Tage! I'm back with another video and I decided to do my next one over Destiny's Child. Like I said in my previous video, I was trying to go through and determine which one I was going to do and decided to finally do one over Destiny's Child. Before we get started, I'd like to apologize if this video is a little laggy or just kind of looks slow in general. I'm trying it out on Nox Player. I may have to switch to BlueStacks, but first I've got to figure out how to use BlueStacks properly. So I'm going to try Nox Player, and if this video doesn't translate very well, just know it's Nox Player. With that out of the way, I'm just going to get straight into the video. Okay, so this is a game that I thought I wasn't going to like right off the bat. Like, I was very intrigued by the art, but I wasn't quite sure if it would be the type of game that I would get into, because it's definitely very racy and I have no problems with that. Sometimes these type of games kind of tend to go over the top a little bit, and they do it in a way that they don't do a very good job at executing it, so it doesn't really end up being very fun. But with Destiny, I tried giving it a go despite that factor, and I was very pleasantly surprised. The more I went through and looked at all the features and the art, I was very encaptured by it. And I absolutely love the art. The amount of detail that the artists go into, it's just amazing. Like, the colors are so vibrant. I love how they have all different types of characters, because, you know, gacha games are very dependent upon their characters. If you don't have a very wide variety of characters in your gacha, people aren't going to be very interested for long unless you have some other defining factor that makes it really pop out. Plus, there's just so much to do on top of everything else. You've got dungeons, you've got the story campaign, and they have events. Plus, you can be free to play on here. I would say that it takes a little bit more drive to be free to play on here, and I am mostly free to play with the exception of maybe spending maybe $10 on this. It was mainly just to test it out a while back, if it would be more beneficial to spend just a little bit money here and there to see if I could progress further. You might see more results by purchasing the Devil Pass, but it would take a lot to get me to spend $50 on these types of games. Not to say that they're not worth it. I haven't been able to get myself to do it. For anyone who does play Destiny on the regular and has purchased the Devil Pass, is it worth it? And if so, please tell me in the comments down below. But I will say this, if you do your dailies and you go through the story campaign, you do have a chance of getting crystals, but you have to be kind of dedicated, and if you don't have a lot of time, this game is not going to be something you're going to want to play on the regular. You can pick it up and put it down, but if you haven't gone through there and done your dailies or your story and all the other stuff that they have to offer, it's going to be a little harder to build up those crystals. Same way with Onyx, which is what you use to level up your characters. But if you do stick with it and you have the time, or you can make time, then you can progress. While there are more than likely paid to win kind of components to this game, which I'm not speaking from experience, so I would say it's not absolutely pay to win, like 100%. You can get in there and you can get stuff for free. And the company overall is pretty generous. They do randomly give you free summoning cards, which you use to obviously summon. But if you're like really hardcore into some of the skins in here, you're going to have to end up forking out some money unless it comes in a event where you can go in there and grind for the amount of coins or whatever it is that takes to unlock those certain characters. But most of the time, the really good skins are locked behind the Devil Pass. Now, as far as the story goes, I actually found it to be quite interesting. The story follows a lower ranked demon who is pushed into this contest by the succubus, who is kind of like an overseer. The contest is being held to see who can become the next archfiend, which I'm guessing is like the top demon. And the main character, he wants absolutely nothing to do with it. He's like, I just want to live my life, make money, and just be left alone. But he keeps getting pushed into these situations and into this contest, and along the way you see all these different units and you get to learn their stories. I'm at a standstill with the story right now because I've done all the chapters in the normal mode, and from what I can tell in the hard mode, I'm not seeing any story. So I don't know if we're waiting on another chapter to release, because at this moment I'm just like, okay, what's going to happen next? And I may have to reach a certain level before I can unlock the next chapter, but I think chapter 7? Yes, chapter 7 is all that's out, because I'm not seeing any way to progress. But if anyone can tell me different, please let me know. Okay, next up I'm going to show you some of the key features of the game, which most of them are behind the night world. First up, we have the Scarlet Collection, and here is where you use your blood gems. And blood gems are very rare in the game. You can purchase them, but even then you don't get a lot for the amount that you spend, so I really don't feel it's worth it. I feel like it's better just to save up in the long run, for myself anyway, because I don't really want to spend a lot of money, so I don't mind waiting and letting it build up. And I'm almost at 120, so I can eventually use it on this 5-star summoning ticket, because I really don't feel like using your blood gems on these refining orbs are worth it, because you can get them in game. And then of course we have the shop. This is where you make in-app purchases. I'm not really going to go through here very much. Basically you just go through here. If there's something that you want, you can click on it and purchase it for yourself. And then we have the Devil Rumble, where you do your PvP. You play against other players. Then you have daily missions on here that you can do to get Onyx coins and Rumble coins, which you can use to get these resources right here by exchanging Rumble coins for crystals and other equipment. I haven't played on here for a bit. I've actually went away from Destiny for a little while, and I just recently got back into it. My ranking's a little low, but I actually enjoy the Rumble. It's very fun. I like seeing all the different characters that people have and like seeing how they have them leveled up, because sometimes it's a matter of you can go in there and get your butt handed to you, or you could, obviously come out on top. But it's really fun overall. I mean, it's just a great way to go in there and level up, and you can get some good rewards. And then we have the Rebirth Labyrinth, which I recently unlocked. It's a dungeon where you go in and go up against these characters, and you can go down here and do your daily missions. Rebirth coins, I think that's what they're called. Then you can also come here and exchange blood gems for certain skins. Or if you have enough coins, you can try your hand at the Rebirth Synthesis and see if you can get a skin too, because you usually have skins among other resources that you can exchange for. It's random, so there's no telling. You're at the mercy of the RNG, but I have gotten at least one of the skins. All right. And then you have your event dungeons where you can get level up material, because you use these for level up material. You can also go in with the gold dungeon and you can get gold, and you can get a bonus at the end, which is great because you do use gold a lot in this game, so you're always going to be needing gold. And then you obviously have your dungeons with different units. You can get extra evolution material, which will be good for evolving them later on, which resets their level. And here we have the exploration, and it looks like my Nox player is kind of messing up a little bit, doesn't want to read everything. Could be because I have the motion sensor up a little too high. Either way, you go here to level up your characters, and you can also get resources, and you can set it for however long you want, up to a certain point. I have mine at an hour. I might eventually push it up for longer, but usually this is how I level up characters, especially the ones that I don't use. And then we have the underground area, and those are also dungeons. You go through there, and there's a little bit of a story, not a lot, but you go down there and you go to the different levels to get materials and whatnot, but I'm not going to go in there because it's slow every time I try to load it. And then the replay scenario is exactly what it says. It just replays different stories that you've unlocked. It's just a fun little area if you like going back through the story to kind of refresh yourself. And here's where you summon. They have different banners like most gacha games that you can pull from. They even have a coin banner, which if you have a lot of coins to spare, then you may want to go through this and try your hand at getting one of these characters, which tends to be very hard in my experience. But this is the area, and I will be doing a summoning provided my Nox player decides to hold up. Right now it seems to be cutting off a lot of words and glitching, which makes me sad. Alright, next we have the Soul Carta. They recently added this with their new update, and I'm so happy that they did, because the Korean version, I've always wondered what the cards actually do. I figured it was like an extra level up. I figured they added like extra stats to your character, which it seems to be the case, but I love looking at all the art. The Korean version, they're a lot further than the global version, So I'm very envious with all the features they have. But now they have the soul Carta here, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, hey, finally. The art's just gorgeous. I love it. And then you can also summon equipment as well, especially if you need an item that will help improve your character. And then we also have the blood gem summon, and you can use your blood gems to summon a soul Carta, a 5-star soul Carta. And you can also use it for the 120 for the 5 stars, which that's what I'm kind of waiting on. And then you have your friend coin summons. You can use these to get all kinds of resources. If you have friends in the game, it's good to send them coins every day and they'll send you coins. So you can maybe get a chance of getting some resources. I tend to save these up quite a bit, so I usually have quite a bit to go through there just in case I need like a little bit extra. Now I'm going to briefly show you my team. I'm not going to get into a lot of the logistics of it, but I will be offering my opinion here. First up, we have Elizabeth. I absolutely recommend using her. I'm not for sure if everybody gets her in the beginning. If that's the case, I definitely recommend leveling her because she's a very hard hitter. Usually if none of the other ones are having any luck getting a certain unit down, I can go in there with Elizabeth and she can take them out. She usually does, especially with her drive skill. It's super useful. And then my main defender unit right now is Sybil. As you can see, I have her awakened. Works very well with me. I am considering replacing her with Sidhi, who is supposed to be a pretty decent defender, and I will see how that goes. But if Sybil works out better for me, then I'll just end up changing her back. And as my main healer, I have Mott. I like her because you can use regeneration. She'll bring back a character, and that can be very useful if you're trying to get a 3-star rating to continue, or just be useful to have her in your team because she can regenerate. There are split-second moments where it can make or break how your game's going to turn out. So I recommend using her. And then I have Eden. I really like how she works for my team. I also use her as attacker unit, and I love her drive skill because she can go in there and attack 3 units at a time, and she does really heavy damage. She's not as a hard hitter as Elizabeth, but she definitely works well. And then I have my debuffer, Tiamat, and she also goes in there and hits 3 random enemies with her drive skill, and it's just useful to have. And she takes down the enemy's defense for a certain amount of time. And I'm kind of trying to build her up to be a little bit more of a powerhouse. But I don't have Midas right now, and he is one of the better debuffers in my opinion. I have him in the Korean version, and he is really nice to have. But unfortunately, he hasn't come up here for me. But yeah, that's my team. And I have a few recommendations. And for those of you who don't have Mott and are wondering who you could use instead of her, they have a variety of good healers out there. A few that I recommend would be Metis, Rusalka, and Cinrix. Those are some of the better healers. There are other healers that you can make work for you as well. Ultimately, especially if you get them awakened and S-ranked and you have a good build on them, I feel like you can work whoever you need. But I found that Metis, Rusalka, and Cinrix work pretty well as well. I've just replaced my Rusalka with Mott because she had the regeneration ability, and I'm sure that there are other characters who can bring back your defeated units as well, but I have not got them yet. And as for defenders, if you don't have Sybil, I would recommend Eris. She was one of my starting defenders, and she was really good to use. I've just since moved on, obviously, but I would recommend her in the beginning, especially Awakened. I also have seen great success with Europa, and I'm curious about Sidhi, so I'll have to test that one out before I can ultimately recommend her, but I've heard she's a really good defender unit. And then lastly, I've heard Mars is supposedly one of the best defender units. So if you're lucky enough to pull her, I would start leveling her up and testing her out. I have her. I have not actually tested that out, but as far as what I've heard, you could also use Mars. I might eventually test my theory and see if I have any success with her. And another reason why I wanted to make this video is because they have an event going on, and it's their 2nd season for the Ragnar Break. In these Ragnar Breaks, you go in and you have a world boss, and you can go against them, and if you win, you get materials at the end to where you can exchange them in the raid shop, which they have all kinds of different rewards that you can get. They show up here which ones you're going to get. I think it's per time that you reset. There is also a story mode on here that you can go through. You can earn extra coins. And you also have your daily missions as well. You go through here and do these. And at the end, if you do 39, you're automatically going to get yourself a horse. He's the one that they're showcasing along with Cleopatra. This is the battle style of the games. In the Ragnar Break, you go against one big boss. She was already down quite a bit, so we'll see how we do, but these raid bosses tend to be pretty strong the higher they go. This style of battling was actually really interesting, and Fever Time is extra time where you can get in there and do some hard damage. I thought this was a different style of battle that I've not seen before, so I really appreciated it. Even though it wasn't something I was used to, I actually kind of liked this style of battle. Oh, I got Fever Time again. And there you go with the regeneration. It's definitely very useful because she also heals you. Oh, one. All right. Then after you're done, you go here and you claim a reward. And you have a chance for a chest coming up to get an extra reward. This is a pretty cool area. I really like the Ragnar Break. Okay, before I end this off, I'm gonna go ahead and do a temple summon and we'll see who we get. The more you summon, the more you fill up your mileage meter and you can claim from anywhere from a 3 to a 4-star and to eventually a 5-star. I think personally waiting till the 5-star is worth it, especially if you do summon a lot, because you are automatically guaranteed a 5-star summon ticket. And with how hard it is to get 5 stars in any game really, it's definitely worth waiting for. I'm gonna go ahead and pull on this banner, and I can tell you right now there's no way in heck that I'm getting Dana, because I have tried so hard to get Dana and she's one of the defenders that I definitely want. So without further ado, let's see how we do. Okay, I'm gonna say a 4-star. Okay, cool. I get her a lot and I don't ever use her. More level up fodder. Okay, another 4-star. She's another healer. I haven't quite tested her out yet. I recently awakened her, so I'll have to give her a go. Another 4-star? Okay, cool. I have been actually considering using her as well. I absolutely love her cello. She's such a cute character, and I've been meaning to use her. I just haven't yet. Alright, that's all I'm going to do for the summoning because I don't want to waste all of my crystals. It takes a bit to get them back up there, so... Okay guys, this is a bit of a different video for me, like I said. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you liked the video, please give it a like, hit that subscribe button, and leave a comment for me down below. And to keep up with all my latest videos, hit that bell. Ding! And if you're interested in following me anywhere else, I have links in the description down below. Thank you guys again for watching. This is Vintage, and I am out.